Happy holidays. The sisters were out tonight, both by 3rd and Fairfax at the Grove and in West Hollywood. One is a hubbub hotspot of foot traffic for the whole Los Angeles community, and one is Boys Town. It is the hub of gay nightlife in Los Angeles. And we handed out candy canes, which is why I'm thematically canified. And we had a metal stand with a little red bucket and a sign up top in a shield, and it said, Salvation Sisters. And we stood there and we rang bells and solicited donations, because not all the gay people I know can feel safe giving to that other charitable organization whose name begins with Salvation, because they're known for their homophobic policies. Lately, they've seemed to espouse that they are welcoming to people of all gender and persuasion, but then you look at some of their policies and some of the statements that have been made by their officials, such as the head of the Salvation Army in Australia, who called for the execution of gays. And you understand why gay people have a hard time donating. So the sisters decided to fill the gap and ring the bell and hand out candy canes and information cards about homeless gay and lesbian youth, with information on the back dealing with 4 organizations in the Los Angeles area that serve homeless teenagers. This one, the Jeff Griffin Youth Center, helps LGBTQ homeless teens, youth, and children. And then the other 2 serve, not exclusively, the second one, My Friend's Place, is not exclusive to LGBT, but 40 to 50% of the 5,000 to 10,000 gay teenagers on the streets of Los Angeles on any given night, 40 to 50% of them identify as LGBT or Q. Gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, or queer. Half of them. And of those, 80% are on the streets because their families have kicked them out. They've disowned them. They've made them no longer a part of the family and no longer welcome. No money, no food, no place to sleep. Gone. How does a parent do that? How do you be so cruel? How do you put your head before your heart? But it happens by the thousands. Thank God for these people. This last one's City 1X. They provide services for LGBTQ youth here in Los Angeles. There's also the Los Angeles Youth Network, which deals with all sorts of youth, but also, not the least of which, gay and lesbian. I mean, you can't serve homeless youth in Los Angeles without serving gay and lesbian, transgender, bisexual, and queer, because it's just the numbers are too high. It's 40 to 50% of them. And I was posting online to solicit information about charities around Los Angeles that deal with these youth. And one person who's a friend and fan of Sister Unity wrote me with his story, and I'd like to share it with you now. Because Christmas is the season of love and giving and generosity. And so at this time of year, in this season, I ask you to listen to this one person's story, and then if you can, to reach into your heart and your wallet and to do something to help people who have just started their path on life to find some place to goddamn lie down and sleep, to get food for people who are too young to know how to figure out how you go around getting food every day, 3 times a day, day in and out. I mean, you and I do it because we earn money, and we go to a job, and we get money, and then we go to the supermarket, and it's become a routine for us, adults. But these are people who don't know that routine yet. They're too young. They have no idea. The best idea that a lot of them have is to sell themselves for sex. Because people want it, and people approach them for it. And so they take the easy road, because it's quick, easy money right there. And when you're living on the street, you try very hard to take care of yourself as best and as fast as you can. And people offering cash right there, it's a huge incentive for people who are scared and in trouble. So here's what it's like, from someone who lived it. So in January of 2012, he writes, I was homeless and went to LA with all the stuff I could bring. And I went to the Gay and Lesbian Center. It was called the Griffith Center, which is no longer there. But it was on Santa Monica and La Brea. It is now on Highland. It is there. It is still the Griffith Center, and it's on Highland. And you can contact them by contacting the Gay and Lesbian Center of Los Angeles. It was a scary place, filled with kids and trans kids on drugs and who were just out of their minds. So that place sent me to a shelter in El Monte. It was a hotel where I had my own room, but the food was disgusting. And I had to go to a meeting every night, and then I found out it was a shelter for mentally ill kids who had, real problems, so I didn't want to stay there. And then I got on the waiting list for Covenant House. And then in February of that year is when I got into Covenant House, and that place was like jail. When it came to the kids, I couldn't even leave anything out while sleeping or during the day, so every day we had to be out of the place from 7:30, and we had a curfew of 5, so during that time I would job search with a 10-pound backpack full of stuff that I didn't want stolen. And then I got a job at AutoZone, and they had some classes in the shelter that I could take, like art, yoga, and a meditation class. And the food there actually wasn't bad and had a great variety. That place is good. It's the kids that make it such a bad place to be. I remember one night, a kid died in my arms because he was epileptic and did ecstasy. So as he was seizuring, I'm trying to hold his head up, telling him to breathe. And then all that happens is all this blood is coming out of his mouth. And then he just stops, not breathing. And then the paramedics came and took him out. He was pronounced dead at the hospital. So after that day, I made it my mission to get out of there. I got a second job at American Apparel on Melrose, and I signed up for a program to get my own apartment, paying only $200 a month, and they bought all my essentials for my apartment and gave me $250 a month for food. I got into the program and was in it for 8 months, and then me and a friend got out of the program because I didn't like how they were able to walk into my room at any time. One of the counselors walked into my room one day, and I was butt naked on my bed, and I felt so violated. So I got my own studio apartment. I was the first kid to ever make it on my own, in my own place, with a full-time job in that program, so they had me come and speak to a bunch of people who give them money every year to make sure that the shelter can provide for kids and to tell them my success story. That's pretty much my story. $5,000 to $10,000 every night. 40 to 50% of them are gay. 80% of those kicked out of their own families. That seems like a lot. What do? You can't take them all in. Sister Mary fucking Poppins did for years. About 30 guys. Sister Fatima and Sister Babs, they're helping someone. But not all of us can do that. I can't do that. So what can you do? You can give. You can volunteer, and you can give to these organizations. Write them down. Look them up online. See if you're inspired to give. And a fourth one, the Los Angeles Youth Network. You can just Google that name and you'll find it. That's how I found them, Los Angeles Youth Network. At least give them some money. The Los Angeles Youth Network, they'll take donations of food and clothes. They've got a list of clothing items that teenagers need, like sports bras, socks, pants, underwear, shoes. They don't have anyone to give them these things, and they're too young to get jobs. We're their parents now. If every one of you just gives some little amount that you're able to, it will all add up and will take care of these people, these young people. We have to. If you have any questions about how to help youth in your area, please feel free to write me a message. I'll do my best to try and answer. But you can do what I did and just Google your city and homeless youth, or homeless teenager, or homeless children, or homeless lesbian, or homeless gay, or homeless transgender, or homeless bisexual, or homeless queer youth. And you'll find the organizations. The Gay Center in New York is doing great work in sheltering kids in New York. You could look them up and ask them if they know something in your area. Thank you for listening. I hope that your Christmas is filled with love, warmth, and abundance. May you be so filled up with the goodness of Christmas that you have extra to give yourself.